Hi everyone, my name is Iben and I'm really excited as today we got some brand new footage of Planet Zoo 2, in which we don't only just get to see the new and improved lion, but we also get to see a feature that I've been hoping for quite a while and I suspect is being added to the sequel, and that is nests. Let's take a look at this trailer. We are back in the African zoo, so we've seen most of the pieces in it, but this new habitat for red panda is something we can look at, and I do spot a few cool things. In the back we have the mesh fence that seems to have gotten a little upgrade because it looks really good. We can see the bamboo pieces have been scaled down, which is also really nice to see, and we see that one of the rope pieces is making its return, and that I'm really excited about. We're starting off with the penguins, and there's something interesting about their habitat. So we are getting the floating platform again, and we already knew that from the beaver exhibit that we saw in a previous trailer, but there is a food bowl on top of that one, and I'm a bit curious because as far as I know, in the first game this wouldn't have been possible because keepers wouldn't be able to fill this food bowl. But for some reason they've put it on there, so I'm going to assume that there has been a few tweaks to the zookeeper system and that now they are able to fill these. So really interesting. And then we get the reveal of the lion. They really do take their time. I do believe that there is a little bit of jittery animation at the start, but it looks really good. I love this graphic as well. I think it's really cool. The habitat looks really nice, and here we get the first look at the lioness. Now the lioness I felt didn't really need a lot of work, but it looks absolutely gorgeous, and I'm really happy to see all of the new fur work on these animals. Just always pays off. I really like it. In the back we can see the male lion again, and I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. Going back to the penguin habitat, as cute as this looks, there is something really interesting to see in the back of this habitat once again, because there in the corner we have a burrow, and in the original game the penguins couldn't use the burrow piece. It wouldn't make sense to put this burrow piece inside of this habitat if the animal couldn't use it, so I'm hoping that this is confirmation that the penguins are able to use the burrows in this sequel, and I would be really happy about that. And then we get to the coolest part of the trailer for me, and that is this crocodile climbing on something that I can only describe as a crocodile nest. It looks absolutely incredible. I can't really think of anything else because this is part of the video that talks about breeding, both about the lions, the penguins, and now the crocodiles. And later on in this trailer we actually get to see a baby crocodile. So for me this all points towards this being a crocodile's nest, and frankly it was already in one of the previous trailers. I talked about this a few weeks ago with Goron because I thought I spotted it in the back, and you can see it right here at the top. There was actually a nest right there, but we weren't sure. We weren't sure if it was a nest or just a different looking rock. But now that we see it here, I can't think of anything else that is a crocodile nest. It looks so cool, and I really hope we'll get some more information about that in the future, whether it is something that the animals create themselves or whether it's something that we get to place down just like in Jurassic World Evolution 3. Then we go back and we see the male lion again, and wow, this is such a cool shot. I really love how it's scratching itself against the tree, and it all feels like it's part of the walking animation of the lion. Like, I know it's a dedicated thing that they are supposed to do, but like it all feels so well integrated into the overall behavior of the animal that it doesn't really register as something that starts and stops like the way they use enrichment pieces. It's all so fluent. I really like this. This is incredible. And then we see the lions fighting, and there's so much dust particles moving around, and that looks all so amazing. I genuinely hope that the color of the dust also adjusts to the kind of terrain that it's on. That would be really cool. But the animal once again looks really amazing. The mane of these animals just looks so good. And then we come to an interesting part of the trailer. We get to see the animal info panel, and here we see that the animal is called lion. Not West African lion like it did in the first game, not African lion as a lot of us were expecting, but just lion. Honestly, I hope they adjust it, because this model and texture clearly looks like an African lion and not like an Asiatic lion. And I know taxonomy wise there's a whole discussion, but I do think it is interesting for a zoo game to have a difference between the African population and the Asian population. So I genuinely do hope that they rename it before the release of the game and make it so that it at least says African lion. If we're going to do things like Western chimpanzee and Sumatran tiger, then I do feel that it's warranted to say that the lion also has to be called African lion if it is going to represent the African variety, which from the looks of it, from the models and from the textures, I would say it's an African lion. And then we get to another cool part of the trailer. This is the terrain paints, and here we have actual brushes that brush on grass right away, and it looks really, really cool. And I really love how much this is integrated into the game. This is something that I believe comes from Jurassic World Evolution 3. I think it really worked in that game, and I'm really happy to see this in Planet Zoo 2. Then we get to see more about the animal husbandry, and unfortunately for me, the whole native plants thing is still a thing in the sequel. I kinda expected that it would be, but at least I'm hoping now that they are giving us a toggle which I can just individually turn that off, so that it can still play with full welfare on, just not with the native plants thing, because in my opinion it doesn't really make sense. A animal in a zoo doesn't really care about getting native plants or not, it just wants to have plants where it can hide in. Like, I hope this is an individual setting this time around. Then we get to see the lion at the vet, and there are two things that I wish to point out. First and foremost, the poster and the glove holder are freely placed items, because if we look at the current vet room, they are actually at the opposite side of the room and not on this side. And in the back we can also see that the desk isn't as filled as it used to be. There is far less detail on it, and I really hope that the flasks and the scale are individually placed items. That would be so cool. And then we get to see the wildlife reserves again, and my god, how beautiful does this all look. I really like it. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And one of the things that I want to point out once again is all of these little puddles. It really looks so amazing. I love it so much. We get another look at the Western chimpanzee, and something that I want to point out is that there seems to be a bit of variation between the fur between individuals. This one has a lot thicker fur, whilst other ones in this trailer actually show a lot more of their skin than the other individual did. So at least there is variation in that, and I know some people would really love to see that, so I'm happy it's in for them. Speaking about cute animals, we get to see the baby lion cubs, and they also look incredible. Really good job, Frontier. I really love it. And we end the trailer with the first look at the black-tip reef shark. It looks incredible. Can't wait to see more. I hope it's one of the animals that is being revealed today in the Zoopedia and that we get a closer look at it. And that's all that I saw in this trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Do everything you want to do, like, comment and subscribe. And I hope to see you all again on this channel for more news on Planet Zoo 2.